Hello, beautiful beings. Thank you for tuning in tonight as we launch our Love Month series. This was promised to be a Facebook Live, and I am pre-recording for you this morning because life is real, and today is turning into a really memorable day in my family's history, and I feel I will be of higher service to you now than this evening. So welcome. Thank you for watching. And if you're watching, it's because you, extraordinary being, are in one of the rising groups, the silvers rising, or the executives rising, or the senior stars rising, or maybe you just got started and somebody in one of those rising groups has invited you to watch this video today. And I want to start right now by just celebrating you for saying yes to your curiosity, saying yes to understanding more about what this opportunity of building a business with Young Living really has to offer. So I'm celebrating you. Congratulations. And this month, instead of doing our usual conference calls that we do in our individuated groups of the Senior Stars Risings together and the executives, we're coming together. We're pooling all the resources so that we can learn and grow together. So please post your questions and comments into this class, into this invitation, so that we can learn and grow from each other. And I will get back and answer your questions as soon as I can. And I invite other leaders on this team to also interact with offering nuggets of support to questions that might come up. So here we go. I am Tonya Roby. This beautiful team is on the rise to achieve gold. Might happen this very month. It's really exciting. And I have been with Young Living for 5 years as a customer, and I would say of those 5 years, about 3.5 to 4 of them building a business at the beginning, really in and out, 1 foot in, 2 feet out. And now I am all in, 100%, and I can't even begin to express how much my life has changed and opened and expanded and been enhanced, and how much more than anything my sense of connection to self and to source and permission to live the true life that I was intended to live has been able to rise and surface within me through the course of this extraordinary learning opportunity. And so I wanted to take about 20 minutes tonight to just speak into your life about 2 really important things in regards to building a business. Number 1 is I want to make sure that you understand, like I did not when I got started, the different mindset, the different programs in the mind between an entrepreneur, a boss, somebody who creates a business, and an employee, somebody who works for a business that has already been created. And so that's number 1 that we'll talk about. And number 2 is that once we have a real understanding of the difference between that entrepreneur and an employee mindset, and what this opportunity really is, which is an asset building opportunity. Asset, that was a word I didn't know when I got started. Once that's clear, then I'm going to take that, and for part 2, talk about how you can get more confident, comfortable, and easeful in sharing the business opportunity, no matter where you are in getting started. So, excuse me, I need to adjust my space heater. We have a cold, snowy day here in New York today. Okay, so number 1, getting started. Let's think for a minute. So make sure that you have your notebooks out. Let's all oil up. If you're feeling sleepy, maybe it's an oil to support your brain. I'm putting on Gathering because as part of this Love Month special, we thought how awesome to really come together, all of us, to learn together. So I'm putting on Gathering in honor of gathering together. Make sure you have your notebooks, your pens. The more you put into this business, the more you get out of it. Opportunity to learn. Your brain takes in information in a different way if you write it down. So take notes. Okay, here we go. Thinking like a boss. Thinking like a boss. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, I want you to think about what it means to create a business versus to have a job. Okay, a business is created, or any dream comes to manifest when you have a combination, a pool of these ingredients. Number 1, an idea. Number 2, passion, burning desire. And number three, action towards that desired outcome. And this births a company. So whether that's a huge corporate company that we might know about, or whether it's a small nonprofit organization, or whether it is your young living business, building an organization, building a company is creating something out of nothing. It's taking a dream and turning it into reality. Okay, and so most of us, at least me 5 years ago, we have experience of coming into the world as employees, or coming into the workforce, I should say, as employees. And so it's already been set up that I want to make sure we're thinking about is that whatever work, let's say that you work at a nonprofit that does human rights work, right? That nonprofit was founded by somebody with a dream, somebody with a huge dream to have positive impact in human rights, right? And that dream was so big that they founded an organization, and that organization is held together by a series of jobs that offer employment to individuals who, like the dreamer, share that dream of wanting to have an impact in that way. Okay, and so part of the visionary's job, the boss's job, is to dream so big and so focused that it creates something real. And in the realness, then it breaks down and says, cool, to create this big vision, we have these different job descriptions and these different responsibilities that we need to share out amongst our employees, right? And so often many of us start work by coming in as an employee, having a clear guideline from the CEO, the visionary, of this is what your expectations are. And in exchange for you being willing to give your life force, your time, your energy, your commitment to this work in the world, doing these specific things, I will give you this salary and these benefits, right? And so many of us come into relationship with money in that exchange. I will earn my keep. I will give my time and life force in exchange for money in support of this bigger dream. Okay? And that's beautiful, right? We need people's dreams to have employees to help move them forward. Okay, and that's great, but that's the employee mindset. The visionary, the business builder, holds the bigger picture of, okay, I'm building this organization, so not only am I going to be pouring into the lives in human rights, for example, but I'm also creating something that creates jobs for all of my employees and pays me, the CEO, for having had the idea and making it happen. Right? And so most big dreamers, most visionaries that build businesses need a couple things in order to get started. Things like capital, money, right? To open a restaurant, what do you need? $300,000 just to get the building, let alone the monthly overhead and expenses. My friend who founded a yoga studio, $1,000 to build an empty room. Excuse me, $100,000 to have that beautiful big empty room for yoga. It usually takes a lot of overhead. So this is what's interesting. This is what's really different about network marketing. What network marketing offers is the opportunity to have that same kind of leverage, right? Somebody who opens a restaurant pays $300,000 to open the doors and then serves meals and makes a profit on each meal that eventually pays off the initial investment and then turns profit. Right now, what network marketing offers is an opportunity to buy that restaurant, to open the doors, to be able to move valuable products into the marketplace and make a commission off of that. But instead of having to spend $300,000 to open your storefront, you spend $160 on a starter kit. Okay, but here's the piece that I want to make sure is crystal clear from this teaching, is that when you introduce the opportunity to people, if that person is a day job or works as an employee, probably the idea of working part-time for home for young living is going to fall into that mindset of, okay, so if I teach a class, how much money will I make from it? You know, and how many hours a week do I need to show up in order to make this much money? And so the first step is understanding that we are not working a job, we are building an asset. So let's pause there. What the heck does that mean? One of my favorite financial literacy teachers, who I was very blessed to study with in person at Omega 2 years ago. Her name is Manisha Thakur. Manisha Thakur, look her up online. She's extraordinary. She's got several books. But she defined asset as something that puts money into your pocket. right? So your restaurant, once you've paid it off, every meal you sell is putting money into your pocket minus expenses, right? Those who buy real estate, buy apartment buildings and charge rent monthly after expenses, the profits coming in, that's the asset. Now, if you have a building that costs you more to keep up than it does to rent, that's not an asset. That's an expense. It's not putting money in your pocket, right? So assets put money in your pocket. But the idea of an asset is that an asset is something that through its existence, through its creation, pumps out wealth and abundance, right? So it's changing. I'm going to give you my time and life force for $1 per hour or an annual salary exchange, to I'm going to create something that's alive, that's of service to the world. And in that function of this amazing thing I'm creating, I will earn a residual monthly income. Residual means you get a paycheck every single month. And if you build something that's living and duplicating, then that paycheck comes whether you're actively working or not. Yes, you have to work hard to build this. Absolutely. This takes work. This takes commitment. Okay? But if you build it and you build it well in this 4-year career, it is intended to serve you for the rest of your life. This is a legacy income, a monthly residual income that your great grandkids can inherit. Right? And so some people get started and they're like, what? You're only making $200 a month and you taught 4 classes? Like, I don't know. That doesn't seem right. But guess what? Everything that brought in that 200 is going to continue to pay you for the rest of your life. Right? That person that got a starter kit, if you educate them well and they become a lifestyler and they choose to stay on your team, you will get paid on that one sale, that one starter kit for the rest of your life, because that person will go on buying every month, right? That's a residual income that comes every single month. So is it worth making a couple $100s a month for a few months, or even if you're like me, a few years? I made about $400 a month or less for my first 4 years building a business, because I couldn't figure out duplication, which is what we're going to talk about next. I couldn't figure it out, but I don't care, because my last plan, when I was working 80 hours weekly to build my other entrepreneurial gigs as an editor and as a yoga teacher, I would finish a book project and I was done getting paid for that book. I would finish teaching a yoga class and I was done getting paid for that. And so every day I woke up needing to go back to earn the money. And I was tired and exhausted all the time. And was it tiring to try to crack the code and figure out the skillfulness of building this profession? Yeah. And was it worth the 4 years? Yeah. Am I going to keep working? Yeah. Why? Because I love it. Because I choose to, and it's on my time now. And that is the biggest gift I could have ever given myself. This is worth it. This is worth it. You're worth it. So understand the mindset, okay? Number 2, here we go. So now that I hope you understand this is an asset, you're building something, you're creating something out of nothing. In Young Living, what are you creating? You're creating a dynamic education team and a community of people who, like you, want to feel better in their lives, in their heart, in their relationship with themselves, in their relationship with divine, in their goals and their missions, in their lifestyle, in their connection to purpose. Okay, that's what we're building. To become a Royal Crown Diamond, you need to recruit at least six dynamic, extraordinary people like you that want to lead with this mission of kicking chemicals to the curb, of feeling better in our lives, of advocating for empowerment and self-care and financial independence, financial literacy. Okay, so you're building a team of leaders, and that's only going to be about 8% of your whole enormous team. Only 8% of people like you, right? This creme de la creme, the cream of the crop that are willing to be scared and do it anyway. And these are the relationships that will feed your life more than anything. Thank you, each of you, for the way that your lives have touched mine, for being my friend. Right? And then the other 92% of your organization is going to be customers. People that just want to use the products to feel good and that benefit from how you do outreach and education to know which products they can use in what ways and in what quantities. So how do you lead with the business? You understand that this is an asset, right? So you're building a team of people that want to feel good together, that want to lean into each other to grow and support each other and feeling good. And so how do you lead with it? So I want to come to this word duplication. Okay, when I got started in network marketing, that was all I heard. It was like, okay, you got to learn how to duplicate, do things that are duplicatable. And I didn't really understand what that meant, or even as I started to try to understand it, I was still hiding from leading with the business. That's how I can see it now. I was still hiding because I was afraid of people judging me, and I was afraid of being rejected. Okay, so what I would do is I was like, okay, well, so then I need to figure out how to teach classes that are a little more duplicatable and maybe make them so much fun that people enjoy them so much that they want to teach another one. And then over time, maybe they'll start to see a paycheck and maybe they'll want to grow. And that did work, but it was a very slow and very low percentage of the people that I guided through experience that actually followed through all the way to becoming dynamic builders. You know who you are, and thank you for those of you that came with me in that way. But here's the thing. What I think the best definition of duplication is learning how to lead with the business, right? Because duplication is when you have more leaders like you that want this like you do and are going to build it, whether you're there reminding them and nudging them to or not. People who get that this business is 100% my responsibility. My business is my responsibility, and how quick it grows and how much it flourishes is 100% my responsibility. And I'm going to show up to it because I care about it that much. Because my dream to help support other women in feeling empowered and powerful and willing to live their biggest dreams in this life now is so important to me that I don't care if it's hard. Right? So you want to find people who, like you, can feel that, can touch that. Right? That's what duplication is. People who want to teach classes because they get how much this matters. And so how do you recruit people to check it out? So I resisted leading with the business because I didn't know how to explain network marketing well enough to translate it into people's hearts. And then I was like, I don't know, I won't know how to answer their questions. So here is my teaching to you. Learn to tell the story, your story, of why you have said yes to wherever you are right now. Maybe it's yes to learning this much more about network marketing, even though you're still super skeptical. Right? Or maybe it's, yes, I'm already an executive and I'm going to the top. And I said yes because I see the way that it's creating time freedom and an opportunity for me to stay at home with my children when I want to. And I can see how I can retire my husband. Right? Or maybe you're in that place of like, well, I don't know if I could do the whole huge business thing, but I know that getting the oils for free in my life would change everything. And I want to learn enough to get just there. Okay? Wherever somebody is at in their, wherever you're at in your, where you are now, that's enough of a story. Hey, listen, I used to work a 70, 80-hour a week and it was for the birds. I was burnt out all the time. And I learned about network marketing and it's extraordinary. It's created all this time freedom for me. I think you would be awesome at it. They say we're supposed to recruit our people that we most admire, people that have extraordinary networks and amazing people skills or just huge hearts and want to give back. And that's you, baby. And I would love to get to learn with you, to train together in setting ourselves free from the rat race. And then you share a tool. All right. And here's the thing is that when we allow the tool to teach about what network marketing is, what this opportunity has to offer, it, number one, is duplicatable. Everybody can share a book and edify a book. And number two, instead of you having to be the expert to your friends, it puts you on a stage of, guess what? I want to learn this with you. I want to learn this with you. Let's go to the top together. And that can ease the dynamic of working with friends and create a culture of a study group, which is what we want in network marketing. We learn to empower ourselves into freedom. So I'm going to end these last couple of minutes with just a couple of my favorite tools where I, again, share my story, why I said yes to network marketing, and how I'm not going to explain to them what it is. I'm going to edify you into why I think you'd be great at it. And then, hey, would you explore this tool to see if you agree with me that you're a good candidate for this freedom train? Okay. So some of my favorite tools, this mini book by Sarah Harnish, right? Sarah Harnish wrote our amazing training system game plan. This tiny little mini, they're $1 a piece. This lays out, this is where you might be. This was my story. This is what's possible. Do you want in or out? Ask your friend to read this, and if they say yes, go nuts and have fun with them. If they say no, cool. Move on. Ask the next person. My other favorite tool to share is Eric Worre's Rise of the Entrepreneur, a phenomenal DVD that documents how the economy has changed since 2008 and why network marketing just makes sense. The 4-Year Career for Women by Kimmy Brooke. I love this book. Her husband, Richard Blissbrook, wrote The 4-Year Career, which is also an extraordinary tool to share. Go Pro, Eric Worre. It's a little bit thicker for first exposure, but oh my goodness, fantastic. In the realm of shareable shareable things online. Sarah Harnish's 101 or Toxic Free Home, I think, are incredible to lead with. Jahan Thomas's How Average People Create Extraordinary Wealth is a video that I love to share. How can you edify a master in this profession for their greatness? And then say, hey, watch this. You want to join me? And when you have that duplication, when you have that on your team, where you're growing and learning together, you and other empowered educators, we rise together. And that's freedom. That's freedom. So I invite you to come home to your freedom. Blessings on the day. I hope this is